Inside the Magic, covering Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Universal Studios, and more.
On your visit to Batu, checking out the Black Spire Outpost, you're going to get to hear things and see things that no one else is going to see. Until opening day, of course. But it's going to be fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here at Star Wars Celebration. Make sure to have a fabulous time, meet as many people as possible, and make sure when these people that come out on this stage, you yell, clap, you cheer, you go crazy for them, because I'd like to keep my job. Ladies and gentlemen, we are finally at the moment you've all been waiting for. Our first show of the day here at the Celebration stage. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy bringing Star Wars Galaxy Edge to life at Disney Parks.
Galaxy's Edge, opening May 31st at Disneyland Resort and August 29th at Walt Disney World Resort.
Star Wars Celebration stage, please welcome Imagineer Scott Trowbridge.
Good morning, Star Wars Celebration. Are you guys excited about hearing about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and finally being able to step into the galaxy of Star Wars? I am so glad you're excited because we are so excited to be able to build this for you, our biggest Star Wars fans. So excited to share with you today some new things, some things you guys are going to be hearing first. We think that's appropriate because you guys are our biggest Star Wars fans. We want you to hear these things first. Sound good? Awesome. So let's kick that off. I'm actually going to be announcing something that might be a very, very special way for somebody maybe even in this room to take a very special visit to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Right? A program I'm so proud of and so excited to announce to you guys for the first time. So, for almost 20 years, Imagineering and the FIRST organization have partnered to support and inspire young minds in science, technology, engineering, and math. And now, Disney, Lucasfilm, and FIRST are taking that relationship and we're jumping into hyperspace. And I'm super proud to announce that FIRST is now an official Force for Change partnership. Now, if you don't know this organization, I can't wait to share some more about it with you. This is an amazing global organization that, out of whom we might find the next set of great droid builders or cosplay creators, or maybe somebody who can finally fix a hyperspace compressor, I don't know. But in any case, instead of me telling you about this program, I think it'd actually be best to hear from some of the folks who know it better than I do, including a very special Star Wars guest. So let's roll that.
At face value, FIRST is a robot competition. But at the end of the day, it's so much more than that.
I'm very excited to announce that Disney and Lucasfilm are teaming up with FIRST as part of the Star Wars Force for Change philanthropic initiative.
My favorite thing about FIRST is my students are learning how to work together, they're learning how to be team players, they're learning how to be leaders, and also to express themselves.
They build self-confidence in STEM.
STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and math.
My brain was filled with different things that I didn't know before.
There's innovation, there's teamwork, there's problem solving.
And then you have mentors that are actually in the field that can tell you, oh, this is why this works, and this is the science behind it. And you're like, oh wow, that makes so much sense.
They're really working together towards one goal, and that's building a robot, building a good team, and just having fun.
Growing up in Dubai, I was never very into science or math as a kid, but I was able to kind of pique my interest in STEM once I came here to the US. I took that framework and that critical thinking background and applied it to my actual community in real life, which was the Muslim community. It turned out that there's a lack of confidence and ability for these young Muslim girls in STEM, and I solved that by being the one to pass down my knowledge and see them thrive in that environment.
My childhood was a little bit rough. I didn't spend a lot of time with my dad. I didn't have those hands-on activities such as like fixing a car, building a tree house. My first experience has given me the skills to become a better person within myself and to my community.
Welcome to First Championships! May the Force be with you!
Star Wars has always been a leader in the latest technological developments. Now with the Disney Imagineers bringing Star Wars to life with Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, this is a really exciting year for the saga. This year, Star Wars Force for Change is working specifically with FIRST to inspire their youth community to use their technology and robotic skills to be forces for good. Together, we'll bring hands-on learning opportunities and mentorship to more young people around the world.
Force for Change is now looking to help support kids from those different backgrounds and demographics that haven't been exposed to FIRST robotics.
It's giving these students the skills they need to become the future designers of the next R2-D2.
Technology has been seamlessly woven into the fabric of our everyday lives, and Lucasfilm, Disney, and FIRST are continuing to inspire a new generation of heroes. Be a force for change and help us spread awareness of FIRST, global robotics community that empowers young people to help shape the future. Visit the official Star Wars Twitter account at twitter.com/Star Wars to find out how to enter for a chance to win a trip to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland Resort.
Thank you, Mark Hamill. I'm so proud of this partnership, and I hope you all will join us and taking our Star Wars fandom and truly turning it into a force for change. This community can do that. So as Mark said, if you go to the Star Wars Twitter account, twitter.com/Star Wars, you can find out more information about this. Retweet that, you'll be entered into the sweepstakes. You can find more information there. Can't wait to see you all at the Galaxy's Edge. So speaking of, who is ready to take a trip to the edge of the galaxy? All right, let's do it.
Lightsabers, spaceships, droids, creatures, heroes, and villains. All these words associated with one of the greatest sagas ever told, Star Wars. For years, these amazing adventures could only be experienced in the theater or the comfort of your own home. Until now. Hey everyone, Josh Gad here at Disneyland in California, home of the future site of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. If you are anything like me, you can't wait for this baby to open. So I'm gonna give you a behind the scenes look at Batu. Follow me. As you can see, security is pretty tight here because they don't want anything getting out.
Oh, excuse me. Other side of the line, please.
This line? Mm-hmm. That seems arbitrary, but okay.
Next.
Hey, still me.
Hi.
Hi.
Identification?
You don't need to see my identification.
Oh.
I had to.
If I had $1 for every time someone did that, I could retire.
I'm sure. I'm Josh Gad from such things as movies.
Yep, Josh
Gad.
Okay, nope, not on my list.
Maybe it's Daisy Ridley's friend.
Daisy Ridley?
Oh, you may also know me from, I'm trying to think, Frozen?
Yes! Hey, you're Olaf!
Guilty as charged.
Wow!
That's
hey,
me.
my daughter loves you!
Now, if I had $1 for every time someone said that to me, I'd be rich. Well, richer. So, yeah, let me ask you a question, Calvin.
Yeah.
Does your daughter want an autograph from Olaf?
Oh.
Because we could make that happen.
That would be huge. You can do that?
I do have a working hand, so I'm happy to.
Yeah, all right. Well,
all right.
Sure. Thank you.
My pleasure. What's her name? Actually, don't worry. I'm just going to make it generic.
It's Olivia.
I don't need it. Okay. Nope. There we go.
Wow.
There you go. Yeah. This was fun. Thank you so much.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
No, so sorry. No, sorry. No, not on my list.
You're very strong for your slight frame.
Is there a problem?
No. Promise, just a little setback. And if there's anything I've learned, it's if at first you don't succeed, build another Death Star. Hey, Scott Trowbridge. Hey, it's your buddy Josh. No, not Grogan, Gad. Listen, I'm just right outside of Galaxy's Edge. You know, I was just here, and I have something for you. Yeah. No, come on out and see. I'll give it to you in person. Okay. All right, see you in a minute. Scott Trowbridge. is coming. Right here.
Hey, do we have permission to be here?
The short answer is no, but the longer answer is no. You guys should probably hide. No, I'm being serious. Go, get out of here. Scotty T!
Hey, Josh, what's going on,
Hey!
man? Good to see you, man. It's good to see you.
too.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
I could ask you the same thing.
Well, we're at this Star Wars land we're
You're
finishing
building
up.
a Star Wars land here at Disney?
Yeah, I thought you knew that. Is that a camera crew? Are they with you?
Guys, hey, come over, meet Scotty. He wants to meet you. Mike, other guys with Mike, come.
Look, I can't let you into the land, much less with this camera crew,
Oh,
so...
I forgot why. I forgot. This is why I called you. I wanted to return this VHS tape to you.
I am pretty sure that I did not lend you my copy of Pretty Woman.
No? Oh, my bad. That must be my mom. Scott, before you jump to any conclusions,
Look, I can't let...
my friends and I just want to walk through the land and take a lot of video.
Yeah, that's 100% the conclusion I was jumping to.
Great minds.
And I don't think we can do that.
What?
If you want to wait until it's finished,
No,
right?
I don't, because that's why I want to go in now. That's why I said that.
No,
Whoa.
I don't...
Whoa. Did you just drop that 5?
Okay, I think this is supposed to be a bribe.
What, you dropped it? Are you accusing me of being a scoundrel in front of all the people watching right now? I mean, do you think I'm like Han Solo? Blink normally if there's a Han Solo animatronic in that place.
Okay, look, we're not going to do this. I'm going to go back in there and finish, and then I'm going to call you...
Billy D. Williams? What? Sorry about this.
This sector is restricted. Have you been authorized for clearance?
You'll be hearing from Bob Iger.
Keep it moving.
I'll call you, Josh. On the line, please.
Star Wars celebration. Make some noise, raise your sabers, and put your hands together for your host, Josh Gad.
How I love you all. How I love you all. Thank you for that awesome welcome. Keep your eye out. An announcement here first. What you just saw is going to be a new series on Disney+. They're replacing me with Alan Tudyk, but it's going to be really fun. This is so crazy. I can't believe we're doing this again. So excited. I can't believe it. Disney bought me as part of the Fox acquisition, so I can't believe we're doing it again. But you guys know I love Star Wars. How about that trailer yesterday? Don't worry, my phone calls have already started to Daisy Ridley, by the way. That's not a joke, they really have. I wish that I could go back in time and speak to little Josh and be like, one day we're gonna be a part of the Star Wars legacy, and he'd be like, we're gonna make the movies, and I'd be like, no, we're gonna host panels in random cities every other year, and he'd be like, do we get to host film panels? And I'd be like, well, 1 year, but then Stephen Colbert will do the other one. And then he'd be like, I don't understand. Stephen Colbert from The Daily Show. And I'd be like, no, he hosts The Late Show now. And he'd be like, this all sounds so weird. And I'd be like, you get what you get and you don't get upset. And then we'd eat our pain away together. Who else is so excited about having a place, a planet, no less, to live out the adventures we've always imagined? Me too. And I have so many questions, and again, I have not gotten the answers I've wanted, so after my call to Bobby I was able to put a panel together of experts that will give you the answers to all of my questions. Let's put our hands together for our panelists, folks. The Mark Hamill of his generation, Scott Trowbridge. Asa Kalama, Margaret Harrison, Doug Chang, Chris Beatty, and of course, Matt Martin. Oh, look at this panel. This is so exciting. I'm so excited. Matt, are you old enough to be on this panel?
I just barely squeaked through.
It's like a bunch of elders and a little boy that they brought.
It's part of the Disney College program.
Get your driver's license, come host a panel. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm as excited as these guys are. Now, before we get started, tell us a little bit about the role that all of you play in this.
Sure. So I'm Scott Trowbridge, and I'm the luckiest guy in the world because I get to spend pretty much every day helping to bring Star Wars to life in our Disney parks and resorts around the world and make 40 years of dreaming come true for me and hopefully for some of you as well.
You can clap, don't be afraid. Give the man applause. Yes, he's doing it for us, he said.
My name is Asa Kalama. I'm the Executive Creative Director of Millennium Falcon, Smuggler's Run, as well as the lane-wide interactive program.
My name is Margaret Harrison, and I'm a managing story editor at Imagineering, and I help this team tell the stories of Star Wars to make this a believable, real, authentic place.
Hi, I'm Doug Chang. I'm the Vice President and Executive Creative Director of Lucasfilm. Thank you. I get to oversee Star Wars design, and I get to work with all of our creative partners, especially this amazing, amazing Imagineering team.
Hi, I'm Chris Beatty. I'm Executive Creative Director of Walt Disney Imagineering, in charge of the land overall. And I've had the privilege of working with 4 years with Doug Chang and the team up at Lucasfilm to help bring this land to life and actually develop it into the world that you're going to get to experience in a very short time.
And I'm Matt Martin. I'm part of the Lucasfilm Story Group. Myself and other members. Oh wow, Story Group fans. Myself and other members of my team are really here to really help these guys tell their most authentic Star Wars story, as well as find ways to connect Galaxy's Edge to other Star Wars storytelling, and vice versa.
Amazing. All right, we have so little time and so much to cover, so let's get started. Scott, the first question is for you. I know that because I just read it on this screen. It's a question you've answered before, so I want you to answer it differently with pictures.
Okay. All right. Well, we did bring some pictures. We brought some stuff to share because we've been making great progress on the project. So we're almost.
Can you tell us everything about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge?
How much time do we have?
There's like a Mission Impossible clock ticking backwards, so not much time.
Okay.
Go.
Well, then probably not everything because we also, just like I told you, we want to see it for yourself when you can see it in person. But we do have some things we want to share with you today to give you a bit of a taste about what Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is going to be about.
Amazing.
Yeah. So, and if anybody doesn't know about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, just real quickly, it is a planet, it is a new place. It's a remote trading port somewhere on the edge of wild space. A place that, in the old days might have been a little more prominent as it was a necessary stopping off point to refuel and provision for this part of the, this edge of the galaxy, kind of on the transition to wild space. But now with the advent of hyperspace and faster than light travel, it's kind of fallen in prominence a little bit. And it's actually now a place where you're going to find more of the people who don't want to be in the mainstream, the smugglers, the rogue traders, the adventurers who are looking to crew up for some adventure into wild space. Basically it's all the interesting people. And a place for us to start our Star Wars story. And that's what we want this whole thing to be about. It's about an opportunity for you to feel like you can participate in Star Wars, not just be a spectator in the world of Star Wars. And so to do that, we've had to create a place that is big. This is the biggest project Disney's ever done, and we're doing 2 of them, one in California, one in Florida. It's also the most epic and the most immersive experience I think that we've done ever. Everything is got this focus on authenticity, attention to detail, immersiveness, whether you're going through the street markets of Black Spire Outpost, kind of shopping for some unique trinket that's only available on this planet, or, and everything in that street market feels like it was made by people on that planet, for people on that planet. So all the merchandise, all the products that are there have that special kind of authentic feeling like you'd see it only in the world of Star Wars. Or maybe you want to sample some for the first time. We can bring Star Wars to life with all your senses. So maybe sampling some of the food or drink at the edge.
Ooh, now you have my interest.
Oh yeah. So this is one of my favorites. So at the end of the street market, someone's taken an old pod racing engine, they've turned it on its end, and they're using it to spit roast these giant hunks of space meat, let's say.
Space meat.
Space.
Yes.
It is delicious.
Oh.
Let me tell you, it's delicious. But if you don't want to just kind of shop and snack, which is okay.
No, that's what I want to do.
No, that's fine. That's fine. We have some other adventures, some more active adventures for you, because we have 2 big anchor attraction experiences. This one, what is this? The name of this hunk of junk? I can't remember. That's right, the Millennium Falcon. Right. So who here wants to fly on the Millennium Falcon?
Someone just screamed at me.
Right. Yeah. Well, we're going to give you that opportunity not just to fly on the Millennium Falcon, to become the flight crew. To kind of take those controls for yourself and really take the fastest ship in the galaxy on a customized, truly interactive mission. It's truly a lot of fun, and I get to actually fly the Falcon sometimes, so I know that it's actually a lot of fun. I'm sorry, I know you don't want. I know
I'm
you want
so angry.
I know. All right, but that's not. So we actually shared previously. Maybe some of you have seen this before. A little bit of a taste about what it's like to be in that cockpit and to flip those switches and to take those controls. Maybe we could actually play.
You guys want to see it again? Let's see it.
Okay.
Let's do it with subwoofers.
Yeah, so that's Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. I can tell you, yeah, it's going to be super fun. Can't wait for you guys to see this and try it and fly it for yourself. But that's not the only thing that's going to be.
I didn't ask you that question, but please go on.
No, but I'm just telling you.
I want to know more. What else is there, Scott?
So opening later this year, we have another big attraction that's part of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. It's called Star Wars Rise of the Resistance.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And it is the most epic, it is the biggest, it is the one of the most complex attraction experiences that we or anybody else has ever built. So if you go outside of the village, go outside of Black Spire Outpost, in the forested area, in the remains of the ancient ruins, as we often do, that's where we find the Resistance, and they're encamped there, and they're looking for new recruits. That's gonna be us. But because it's Star Wars, not everything goes according to plan, and we might even find ourselves prisoners of the First Order and captive on board a Star Destroyer. I know. And if you've ever really been on a Star Destroyer, it's not a lot of fun. You want to get off that Star Destroyer, and that's exactly what we're going to do. And because it's Star Wars, it is going to be epic. This is the biggest attraction we've ever built. It is filled with...
I've heard rumors that there's like an extravagant amount of time that you spend in this attraction, like 1 minute and 30 seconds. Or
It's more than that. It's more than that. Because it should be epic, because Star Wars, right? Yeah, that's why we're going big with this attraction. And so, listen, I don't want to give it away, but you're going to face the First Order. You may even come face to face with
Kylo Ren.
I didn't say it, you did.
Oh.
And if you can survive that encounter,
Ray, just shake your head yes or no. Poe? Oh yeah, BB-8. Oh, I cannot wait.
Yeah.
Okay, let's stop there.
So yes, all of those fan favorite
Admiral Akbar.
I've got some bad news.
Too soon, Josh.
Too soon. Sorry.
Got some
Too
bad
soon.
news.
Just no.
As Josh storms off the stage in tears. Okay, all of those fan favorite characters are going to be there, and if you can survive this encounter with the First Order, if you can survive an encounter with Kylo Ren and make it back to the planet in one piece, you will be celebrated as a hero of the Resistance, celebrated throughout the land. Can't wait to share this experience with you later when we open later this year. But we also made a little teaser video for this experience as well. That kind of sets the stage for what's about to happen right before we get there in Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. Let's play that video. Another question you didn't ask, but I'm going to answer.
Please.
All of that was shot actually inside the attraction.
I was going to ask you this. That's insane.
That's the level of a detail.
And I've heard like there's an exorbitant amount of stormtroopers there.
It's the First Order.
Don't talk around my questions. Just tell me answers. Okay, great. Well, in all honesty, I truly am amazed at how insanely cool this looks. But I sort of have an authenticity question for you, Doug. Because as we all know, you've had your hand on this for a long time. You know this world better than anyone. How accurate is it? And be honest, you can speak garbage about all of them. Now's your chance.
Absolutely.
Great.
What amazes me about seeing these videos is that there's no movie magic behind this. These are all real attraction experiences and places that guests will actually get to visit.
Okay. And I'm going to ask it because I've had this question for a while now. So why a new planet as opposed to something like Tatooine? Why are we going to a brand new planet?
Well, when we were trying to figure out what the land should be, we kind of started to explore all the different places we can take our guests. You know, like Tatooine, or maybe even Mustafar. But I'll tell you, when you think about it, those places are a reflection of the characters that they represent. For example, I mean, when you think about Tatooine in A New Hope, Luke is a moisture farmer. He's a simple person, and he wants to escape this mundane life. He wants to, he has a longing for adventure. And so the bleak desert landscape reflects this emptiness. And so when we approach our designs for the environments, we really want to design the environments with purpose.
Yeah, well, that was important because as we sat down, we started designing Black Spire Outpost. It wasn't about a single person. It wasn't about Luke or Anakin's journey. It was about your journey. And that was really, I think, the turning point design for us. And we said, you know what, it's really about you. You are that rogue adventurer, that scoundrel, that person on the edge of wild space. And that was the moment, I mean, I remember sitting at the table, when we said, you know what, this is it. This is the switch that we had to flip to really start to think about crafting a place that we've never been before. And it was a little scary for us at the same time because, we know as fans we want to go visit those classic places, but at the same time we wanted to build a place that, depending on the new stories, the new characters that come to life, that you could go and have those moments with them in a land that was timeless. And that was really, I think, the hurdle that we got over in design that really took us to Black Spire.
Incredible. Speaking of story, Matt and Margaret, you're not Margaret. I don't know why I pointed at you.
Sorry.
We're interchangeable.
You guys have been very quiet. I'd love to hear from the two of you. And Matt, we can give you adult supervision if you need that to answer the question.
Can you come hold my hand?
So, can you talk a little bit about the stories that we're going to experience on Batuu and how they fit in to the Star Wars universe?
Sure. So, as I'm sure all of you know, all Star Wars storytelling takes place in one timeline, all within the galaxy, far, far away. And really, from the get-go, both teams really wanted to make sure that our adventures in this park and the story of the land really represent a moment in Star Wars storytelling and have a place within the Star Wars narrative.
Yeah, we took a lot of great care to realize that guests, when they walk into our land, they are walking into it for the very first time. But this planet and this place, Black Spire Outpost, has a very long and rich history. And we wanted to tell all those stories. We wanted to tell the stories of how the Resistance got there. And how did Dokandar, one of our Ithorian characters, how did he get there? How did they set up shop there? So we worked very closely with Lucasfilm story and publishing teams to tell these stories and build this rich tapestry of storytelling to tell you everything about the stories and characters that came before and soon after, right? So we worked together to tell all these wonderful stories that Matt can tell us a little bit more about.
Yeah, we've already started telling some stories in the publishing space. In Thrawn Alliances, we actually get to see Grand Admiral Thrawn and Darth Vader go to Oga's Cantina at Black Spire. So it's been in where legends have gone. We are also coming out with a couple other news stories, which include Black Spire, which will tell the story of how the Resistance got to Batuu, as well as a 5-part Marvel miniseries that will explore some of the antiques in Doc's antique shop and how they got there. And in addition to that, if you haven't read it yet, Pirate's Price will explain. Yeah, and if you haven't listened to the audiobook, it's amazing. So Pirate's Price actually shows how Hondo has possession of the Millennium Falcon and his kind of uneasy partnership with Chewbacca.
Incredible. That's Doc Ondar, right? Doc Ondar?
Yes.
And do we learn how Doc got his medical
Here
degree?
in Chicago. Podiatry, I think, is a podiatrist.
Not that kind of doc.
Yeah. No, let's talk about Doc. I'm excited because we really haven't, I think, said much about him. Other than little hints. By the way, anyone catch? He was actually mentioned in Solo. Did anyone catch it? There's a moment in Solo where they talk about Doc Ondar. It's brief, but he was introduced there for the first time. But Doc Ondar, he is this Arthurian figure. Matter of fact, here's the image of him. This is the animatronic figure that's in this space. Incredible detail. I mean, he is everything you would want out of an Arthurian. He's big and he's gritty and he's got an amazing personality. He is not necessarily the nicest guy on this planet. He is the head of the black market. So if you really want that obscure, one-of-a-kind, unique piece of merchandise, this is the guy you got to seek out. You got to go and you got to barter for it. You actually have to work to maybe purchase something from his shop. And he has an amazing collection. No matter, what I love about this project is because we're timeless, it doesn't matter when you come into the franchise or we're a fan of what part of this franchise. If you love the prequels, if you love the original trilogy, the current trilogy, or the standalone films, the Clone Wars, we place things in Doc Ondar's shop for all of you. There's so many Easter eggs in this shop, I've lost track of what we've put in this shop.
We walked Pablo and Matt into the den and they were like, oh my gosh, that's from Phantom Menace and that's from that. And they were like freaking out and we're like, that's exactly what we want right there.
It's heaven. Like even right now, just looking at the picture, I just want to start examining the things in the background.
It's really, really cool. And so it's exciting because it's, once again, you can purchase even lightsabers in this shop. But they're not the lights, they're amazing lightsabers, but they're not the only lightsabers that we're going to have for sale in the land.
Ooh, now you're piquing my interest. I want to talk for a second about the design scheme because I noticed that you guys have like a very Moroccan market vibe to it. Did you do a lot of exploration in discovering that and landing on that? Did you guys go anywhere to sort of take a look at places?
Yeah, we do. As Imagineers always do. We like to.
Did you guys just go to Epcot and we're like, okay?
We did. We went to Morocco and Epcot. It was a very short trip, but no, we authenticity. That has been, when we start our design process, we always pin up on the wall, literally with pens and cards, certain words that we want to make sure the design team sticks to. Authenticity was the very first word that we placed up on the wall. We said, we cannot build a Star Wars land that is not authentic, that it is not, that we don't make you, the guest, feel like you're actually there, that you've stepped into the film. That was important. And by the way, we're taking it to extremes. We've never done anything with an Imagineering like this, right? And so yes, we went and we did our research. We spent time in Istanbul, Morocco, because those are places that have an ancient history to them, that are places that have this layering that has taken place of multiple cultures and just this tapestry that's almost created. The marketplaces there are incredible, and so when you visit Black Spire Outpost in our markets, they feel very, very familiar, but yet they're very Star Wars.
Speaking of authenticity, you started talking about lightsabers. I think that is an area of interest for everybody here. Can we leave Star Wars Galaxy's Edge with our very own lightsaber? Is this possible?
Yes, it is possible. And there are a couple ways to do it.
Yes.
One, you could visit Doc Ondar, try to barter for one. But two, if you can find a guy named Savi who lives on this planet, might know how to build a lightsaber. And so we're going to let you, their guests, actually have that opportunity to go into Savi's workshop, seek out this ancient builder, and build probably the coolest, most high-end lightsaber that we've ever designed.
So we've never been able to get these lightsabers before,
no,
is that
these
correct?
are one of a kind. They will belong to you. No one else will have this.
And actually, you customize it yourself, so it could truly be one of a kind, the way you customize it.
Ooh, yeah, cool, right? Really, really cool. So Scott also mentioned, just walking through, I think this is what it's been great working with you, Doug, on design is, filmmakers, they really get to play with just two senses, right? The visual and the audio, right? What you hear. But we, as Imagineers, get to play with, what's Galaxy's Edge feel like? What's Star Wars feel like as I walk through the land? What's that texture? What's that grit that brings it to life? That makes it feel like Star Wars? What do you what do you smell as you walk through Star Wars? I know that's a weird thing to say, right? But you mentioned Ronto roasters, Scott, and walking through the marketplace, you're hearing the market, it's got these amazing senses that are taking place, but then the smell of the Ronto being roasted on this giant spit is quite a unique thing.
Yes.
Space meat, yeah.
What does a space meat taste like? Can you tell us?
What do you think it smells like and tastes like, John?
Falafel?
More like shawarma.
Shawarma?
Shawarma, yeah, space shawarma.
I want some space shawarma.
And try the Minot jerky as well.
Yes, the Minot jerky is delicious.
Any blue milk?
Well, we do. It's not just about they're also things that you might
And green milk.
Yes, blue and green milk.
What does the blue and green milk taste like? Please don't say shawarma.
It does not taste like shawarma. But you know what? For 40 years we've wondered, right? And now when you come to Black Spire Outpost, you're actually going to find out for yourself.
That's amazing.
And it's not the only thing that we have.
No, it's not. It's not.
The amazing food and beverage, as Chris said, bringing Star Wars to life with all the senses is something that we've been really, really focused on because we really, truly want you to immerse yourself in these experiences. And
authenticity. I mean, I think this next piece will speak to the level of authenticity that we have gone to on this project.
Authenticity, attention to detail, and I'm actually excited to share something now with you guys for the first time. You guys are going to be the first anywhere to see this or hear about this. We've actually, in that quest for authenticity and attention to detail, we've actually been working with a partner of ours. Almost 4.5 years we've been working to bring something new, something exciting to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. It's going to feel familiar, but very, very authentically Star Wars. And instead of me actually telling you about this,
do we have a video?
You said more pictures.
More pictures.
So I brought more pictures for you.
Show it to us.
So I want to show you this and see if you can figure out, I'm sure you will, what it is we're talking about and what is this new thing that we're bringing into the world of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
What was that? Look, there.
Wow. I'll have what she's having.
You know what? I know someone who could help make that happen. To talk about how we were able to bring this great thing into the world of Star Wars, I want to introduce somebody from the Coca-Cola company, Brad Spickert and Matt Cooper, who've been working with us on this project to help bring Star Wars to life. Brad, Matt, hey, you brought things.
Yeah.
Aren't these cool? I just think these are so cool. Yeah, I think they're awesome too. Why was Coca-Cola willing to come and play with us in the world of Star Wars, excited about coming into the world of Star Wars with us?
Yeah. Well, as you know, Scott, Coke and Disney enjoy a tremendous partnership. And I think one of the reasons for that is we share a lot of attributes. One of the most important ones of those, I think, is the ability to inspire moments of happiness and magic in people's lives.
Sounds awesome.
And so when we found out about Galaxy's Edge, we knew we had to keep doing that in a way that was authentic to Batu. And we translate the Coca-Cola name into more than 100 languages. But now, being able to share them for the first time in Arabic with this crowd here at Celebration.
Yeah. You guys are first. You're seeing this first.
Truly takes my breath away.
Well, it's not just the logo, it's the whole design of this thing. The design of this thing just looks cool, kind of thermal detonator-ish. It's kind of awesome. And Matt, I know that you worked on this, helping to design this thing from the very beginning. So tell me, like, what's it like to bring Star Wars to life with this design?
Absolutely. So, guys, this would not have happened without the awesome team at Walt Disney Imagineering. Scott, Chris, and team, they really brought the vision to us and allowed us to take our Coke brands further than we've ever taken them before. So basically, we saw that, a lot of the things in Batu were reclaimed, restored, and it was these metals that were sort of scraped and tattered. So we wanted something that almost appeared like it was pulled off of a ship or left behind and was repurposed as something that you could consume some of your favorite drinks in. But all the while, we still wanted to add some visual cues that allowed you to quickly understand what it was that you were about to consume, but not so much that it took you out of this storyline and put you back into reality. So, I mean, they turned out awesome. And the Arabish Coke stylized logo on this T-shirt. What do you guys think?
Did everybody get a T-shirt?
Yeah.
I didn't get a T-shirt.
I want a T-shirt.
I did not get a T-shirt.
Well, guess what, guys? Does everyone have their ticket that they grabbed when they walked in? On your way out, you're going to be able to get one of your own. Yeah, a free T-shirt. Thanks, guys.
That's so
See you at
exciting.
Galaxy's
Thank
Edge.
you guys for coming to play in the world of Star Wars with us. We couldn't have done this without you. This is great. Thanks for helping bring that authenticity and that immersion to life.
Thanks,
Let's
guys.
give a big hand for Brad and Matt and Co. Awesome.
I'm really angry that I didn't get a ticket. That made me very thirsty. Chris, tell me about, speaking of thirst, we call this a transition. Tell me about the Cantina.
Well, you know, every outpost on the edge of the galaxy has to have a cantina, right? You have to have a place for the, long space trip, you land in your freighter and you get out, you need a place to go and have a refreshing beverage. So yeah, we have a cantina on this planet. And you know what, the drinks are going to be so amazing. They are cool. They're strange, they're out of this world, we had a lot of fun coming up with the beverages.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and Scott and I think we had our fair share of sometimes a little too many. But that's the rough job of being an Imagineer. And so it's been great, and we're really excited because the food and beverage team within Parks and Resorts really just knocked it out of this galaxy with their offerings. But I would say the other drinks are great, but the star of the show is DJ Rex.
Oh yes, this is what I was going to ask you. Now, are we talking Rex from Star Tours Rex?
Yes, that's the Rex we are talking about.
Yes, Rex, this was before you were born. Rex was pilot on Star Tours.
Oh, yeah, we'll explain later.
loved him. I loved Rex as a kid. So how did he get on to Batuu?
So, despite just graduating high school, I'm a bit of a historian, so I've looked into Rex. No, I'm actually a huge Rex fan, and when I found out when the Imagineers were talking about bringing Rex back for the Cantina, my brain immediately started spinning. I'm like, I need to figure out the story that gets him from Star Tours to here. And I guess I kind of wrote a little bit of fan fiction.
A little bit. It was like 17 pages
It
long.
was
or something.
really long.
Editing that had to take place.
We call that a book, by the way.
Sorry, guys. But I guess the short story is basically Rex kind of flunked his way out of Star Tours, eventually through some misadventures found his way to the Rebellion. In the final battle of the Galactic Civil War, the Battle of Jakku, in a very epic TIE fighter chase, he ends up crash landing on Batuu. There he is rescued by the local droid smith, Mubo, where he's repaired and made into a DJ for Oga's Cantina.
Okay, all right, so we know he's a DJ, which leads me into my next question. What kind of music can we expect? Are we thinking the stylings of Figure and Dan and the modal notes, or is it...
Well, everyone loves that classic Cantina sound that we've heard, for 40 years. That comes from a Cantina. And Figure and Dan, we wanted to kind of bring that to this Cantina as well, but not that same song that we've heard, right? That we assume that Figure and Dan, they probably had other hits, right? And so we've got some other music that is in that same style that would be...
I want you to stop talking around my question and play something for this audience.
Oh, you guys want to hear that? Okay, this is another Star Wars celebration first. You guys are the first to hear this. This is another song from Figure and Dan and the Modal Notes. Let's play.
The B-side.
Classic sound.
Love that. I love that.
Classic Cantina sound.
Do we have anything else? Do we have maybe another sample?
We brought, for you,
for me,
we brought something else.
Yes.
So it's not just that classic Cantina sound that makes up the music of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. We've actually expanded the repertoire greatly. We have got so much really, really, really fun stuff that we are going to be able to unveil to you when you get there. But as a quick little teaser, I want to play one of Rex's favorites. And this is from an all-droid band. And kind of like Rex, they don't always get it right the whole time. But it's one of Rex's favorites. It's one of my favorites. Let's listen to another track that we might hear in Oga's Cantina.
Wow, it's like it's very cool. It's like an all.
What do you think? What do you think?
It's amazing.
Okay.
It's like an Altroid version of Hamilton. That's awesome.
I guess they're not going to throw away their bot.
I don't know.
Oh wow. All right. We need to speed this one up. I want to know, Asa, you've been eerily silent, and that's mainly because I haven't asked you a question, so that's on me. But I want to know more about Millennium Falcon. Please. I need to know more about Millennium Falcon. What can you tell us?
I would absolutely love to. So
thank you so much, Asa. All right, moving on.
It was brief. So even before guests get to climb aboard that super iconic, amazing cockpit, the experience really begins right outside, where guests are going to get to see the Millennium Falcon parked in all her glory out in front of the local spaceport. Really, the scale of the ship itself is a whole experience in and unto itself.
Doug, does it hold up?
Yes. It's incredible. I mean, we built so many different versions for our films, and they're all at different scales.
That little one on the hand?
Oh, yeah. No, that's the most fun. Yes. So
my size.
That's great. So we've had a variety of full-size versions as well. And then you see here, there's a 6-foot shooting miniature as well as a 2-inch shooting miniature, and then some digital versions as well. And they were all slightly different from each other because they were built for different purposes. The one you're going to see up at 2 is the definitive Falcon. It's the real deal, and it's breathtaking. I remember being there and just being amazed, just standing in front of it because it's so powerful.
Anyone else just cry a little bit, or is that just me? Okay.
And just wait, Josh. It gets even better, obviously, when you finally get the chance to go inside. This is something that we knew we had to do as soon as we started developing Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. We knew that we had to give guests that opportunity to step aboard the Millennium Falcon, but we knew that that wasn't enough, right? This idea that you would just get to ride inside the Millennium Falcon, but we actually wanted to give you the opportunity to control the Millennium Falcon. So guests are going to get to load into that iconic cockpit and take controls of the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy, and it's going to be unlike anything we've ever offered our guests before. And as a pilot, you have the opportunity to either steer the ship left or right or up and down, and it's truly up to you to pilot the ship out of the way of those spires, for example. If you don't, you're going to smash into them, alarms are going to go off, sparks are going to fly, and it'll be up to the engineers in the back of the cockpit to work furiously to keep the ship in working order. We got TIE fighters coming at us left and right. It's up to the gunners in the middle to work those lasers and those blasters to truly defend the ship.
So it's not just the pilot, the gunners, the engineers, everybody's going to have an experience inside this cockpit.
Absolutely.
That's different.
Everybody has a very important role to play, and it's truly up to you and your flight crew to determine the fate of the ship. One of the amazing things about this experience is actually, even when it's over, the story continues. So as you make your way out of the cockpit at the end of your amazing smuggling adventure, even that iconic hallway that you make your way through, it's going to look different depending on how you fly. If you had a beautiful, clean run, that hallway's going to be in pristine condition. If you've banged into every possible thing there was to bang into and taken, a volley of laser blasts, lights are going to be broken. We're going to hear sparks flying. We're going to hear comm chatter about the incredible damage that you managed to cause to the ship. And it's important that you do what you can to bring the ship back in good working order. Hondo Ohnaka is a very he's a phenomenal boss, but he doesn't take too kindly to those bringing his ship back in rough shape.
I absolutely love Hondo Ohnaka. What was it like to bring such an awesome character that hasn't been in the films yet into this world?
Yeah, it's been amazing. Go ahead. I had a chance to see Hondo up close, and his transformation and evolution from animated life to real life has been, it's uncanny. I mean, we went down and got the, all the details right, including getting Jim Cummings to do the voice work.
And
Wow.
This sculpting you're seeing here, it's amazing. It was actually based off of a sketch that Dave Filoni had done a long time ago. He'd always sort of wondered what Hondo might look like when he's older. And so working with Dave Filoni and the amazing team led by Neil Scanlon, we were able to bring Hondo from animated form into real life.
All right, I hope you guys have something to show us.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. So what we'd love to roll for you now is actually a clip of the Hondo Onaka, the boss man himself of Onaka Transport Solutions.
Yes, yes. Hello, my friends. I am Hondo Onaka, and this is Onaka Transport Solutions. Today, I am offering the opportunity of a lifetime. I need flight crews to transport this valuable merchandise across the galaxy. Pilots to navigate, engineers to operate the ship, and gunners to defend the shipments. And that is where you come in.
That's insane. That's crazy. That's crazy.
It's Hondo.
That is Hondo. And I love that you guys brought in Jim Cummings. Everybody here know who Jim Cummings is. He's like the most incredible voice talent ever. He does Winnie the Pooh, he does Tigger. My greatest fear in life is one day I'm gonna get a phone call saying Olaf is now gonna be played by Jim Cummings. But it's just insane. So I digress. Margaret, who else do we have in this
We've
world?
worked with so many incredible voiceover actors, and one of the ones that we definitely wanted to bring back for DJ Rex is Paul Rubens. So we were super excited to bring him back, and no one was more excited than Paul. He was really great to work with. He really was, and he brought in a lot of inspiration and new lines for us. And let's just say you will be thoroughly entertained in Oga's Cantina.
Anybody else?
Well, I think that's the kind of that attention to detail that I think you guys want from us, right? That level of authenticity and kind of going back to these, to the classics, if you will, and making sure we're doing this right. And I will tell you that we're putting so much love and kind of passion into making sure that we're kind of working in a way that we think you would want us to, that we are going back to some of these folks like Paul and like Jim Cummings. And one of my favorite examples of this is, anybody know this character? Yeah.
I know.
I love this story because Nainam, when he was voiced in his original appearance, was voiced by a young man who was a student in the Bay Area at the time. Actually, was from Kenya and spoke a unique dialect and had a unique sounding voice. But then time passed, and this gentleman whose name is Kip Sang-Rodich went back to Africa, and we kind of lost track of him. But when we decided we were going to bring Nainam back for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, we actually went to Kenya, tracked him down to record the original voice actor for Nainam to play in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, because we think that's the kind of thing you would want us to do.
That's crazy. I love that you guys couldn't just call him on the phone and say, can you go to a recording studio? You all had to fly to Kenya. That's incredible.
Why didn't you guys take me on any of these trips?
Too young.
Is there...
On the passport.
Fair point.
I'm so sorry, man.
There's other great people we have in this too, right? Because not every character that we hear is a character that we can see. Sometimes those voices come to us from
maybe the Force?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop speaking in riddles. What are you saying to us?
I think we're saying that, the Force is a very mysterious thing, and sometimes maybe Jedis from the past could visit us and be part of your experience.
Specifically?
Maybe a small green Jedi.
Darth Maul?
No.
Yoda? Yes. Wait a second. Please tell me what I think I want to hear. Who is voicing Yoda for this attraction or this world?
I think the name you're wanting to hear me say is Frank Oz.
Oh! You guys are living the dream right now.
It's amazing. it's incredible to work with the talent that's been pulled together for Galaxy's Edge. So it is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
It really is, and thankfully, because I think we're approaching this hopefully in a way that you guys will appreciate, we're getting the participation of all these people who have been such a classic part of making Star Wars Star Wars. Another personal favorite of mine, and it wouldn't be a great Star Wars experience without the music of Star Wars. And so we've got John Williams. John has composed some amazing new music for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. And I gotta tell you, the music itself feels like it's a character, the way it brings these experiences to life throughout our land. And I'm so excited about his participation in this.
It's incredible that you guys also went to Kenya to get that footage.
Yes, we did.
Frank Oz, John Williams, how could this get any better?
Well, you know, Josh, as hopefully you can tell, everything that we've been doing in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge has been about trying to exceed all of your amazingly high expectations and our amazingly high expectations. And one of the key to making this a truly amazing experience is actually all of you. I mean, for the last 40 years, we've all been playing Star Wars in our backyard with cardboard boxes and, you know, rolled up toilet paper tubes as lightsabers. And we really, really wanted Star Wars Galaxy's Edge to be this ultimate Star Wars playground, a place where, you know, if you want to, rather than, you know, reliving, you know, Luke's story or Leia's story, as Chris mentioned, a place where you can truly live your own Star Wars adventure, right? So absolutely, there are folks who just want to come ride rides and enjoy the amazing food and merchandise, and that's totally okay.
Space meat.
Space meat. But for those who want to, right, we wanted there to be this opportunity for you to take on a persona, right, to become a member of the Resistance or the First Order or, you know, a rogue scoundrel. So we've been working really, really hard on some amazing technology that'll enable, you know, this to really become a living land.
Can you be more specific?
I can be more specific, yeah. So one of the key ways that we're going to do this is through an app called the Play Disney Parks app. It's actually available for download now today, but coming soon will be your very own Star Wars data pad. So as guests come and visit us at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, your mobile device gets transformed into this amazing in-story tool. And it's really built around 4 key functions. And these are going to be the way that you can interact with and unlock a whole nother level of storytelling in Batuu and Black Spire Outpost. So first up is our hacking tool for all those slicers out there. This will give you the ability to interact with some of the droids that you see throughout the land, as well as some of the blinky light panels and maybe even some of the ships. We also have an amazing tool that gives you the ability to actually scan some of the propping that you see throughout the land. So we've got these cargo crates everywhere, for example, and you can use your scanning device to look inside those crates and find out what's inside. We also have a translation device. So much of the text and the languages that we'll hear and see in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is not in English, right? So this tool will allow us to understand what that airbrush sign actually says. And lastly, we have a really great tuning tool that allows you to tune into the various satellite dishes and antenna arrays all throughout the land and actually eavesdrop on some of the amazing stories that Margaret and Matt and the whole story team have been developing to give you this whole new layer of storytelling behind Black Spire's Outpost. One other really fun way that guests can all play together and really sort of show your allegiance for either, you know, one side of the epic Star Wars battle or the other is through a game we call Outpost Control. So when the First Order arrived on Batuu, they started installing these surveillance devices and all these blinky light panels that live next to all of the various doorways throughout the land. And obviously the Resistance doesn't love that, right? They don't love that idea. So as visitors to Black Spire Outpost, all of you will have the opportunity to decide who you want to help, right? Which side of this conflict you want to be on. And ultimately this game lasts up until one faction, either Resistance or the First Order, is successful in controlling most of those blips, and then the game begins again. It's just one of the really amazing ways that all of you will have an opportunity, if you want to transcend just being visitors to Black Spire Outpost, but to actually become, you know, develop a persona and become inhabitants of this world. A world where, you know, the choices that you make and the ways that you interact will ultimately affect the way that the story unfolds around you.
I stopped listening when you first started talking. Can you go through all that one more time?
Yeah, sure. Can we go back to one? That'd be great.
No, this is so incredibly cool because I have always wanted to be a part of the story. And this is giving us the opportunity to do just that.
Yeah, and there's so much more to come. I mean, we're just kind of touching the tip of the iceberg now. But you don't actually have to wait to visit Star Wars Galaxy's Edge to start being a part of the Star Wars story. Has anybody here actually been to the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge exhibit on the show floor here at Star Wars Celebration? Okay. Has anybody here taken a moment to step inside one of our video recording booths, our fan-fessionals, and record your Star Wars story? Well, I want to tell you, and if you haven't done it yet, you might want to go do that. We are going to take all those stories that you tell us about your relationship with Star Wars, about what Star Wars means to you, and we're going to collect those things, those stories, and we're going to put them in a holocron, very much like the one you see wheeling on stage. In fact, specifically like the one you see on stage. In fact, that one you see on stage. We're going to collect all of your stories, we're going to put them in that holocron, and we're going to make them a part of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Because we can think of no better way to start the next 40 years of Star Wars storytelling than to base it on the love, the passion, the fandom that you all have, and make that the foundation of all the Star Wars stories we tell in the future. And we have so many ideas. We have so many ideas about what can happen at Black Spire Outpost, the stories that you guys are going to participate in, other things that we're going to tell through other, through publishing games and other films, media. We have a lot of plans for the kinds of stories that will be launched from this remote outpost on the edge of wild space.
This is all amazing. Full disclosure, I told a little fib at the start of this panel when I said I did not get a chance to tour Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. What I meant to say was I did get a chance to tour Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. It is beyond your wildest dreams. It is the single most insane thing I've ever seen built in any park. And I'm not just saying this because they paid me to say it, although that's part of it. It really, the scale and scope of it, I don't think any of you guys are ready for. And more than anything, I just wish that they could see some of what I saw because it was incredible. Can they see some of what I saw?
Yeah, I think
they can.
You said bring more pictures.
Yes.
So we brought more pictures. Now I want to tell you, I cannot wait for all of you to kind of visit this location for yourself, to really be immersed in it with all of your senses, as Chris and Doug and everyone else here have talked about. But to give you a little bit of a sense of what Josh saw when he came to visit, we did bring a very recent collection of some footage we shot in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge as we are almost getting ready to launch it to the world. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of that footage. And with that, listen to some of that iconic John Williams music, a selection of his theme from Galaxy's Edge. And I truly, and you can testify to this, I did stand in front of the Millennium Falcon and I started to cry. And I genuinely, there was a lot of pollen in the air that day, but it genuinely is, I think, you've given all of us a gift that I don't think anybody's fully prepared for. And I just want to thank you all. I cannot wait to go back, get on these rides, which I did not get to do, so don't come at me with pitchforks yet. But to experience this when it opens, and promise all of us that this is just the beginning. It absolutely is. You know, as I said, we have a lot of Star Wars stories to tell. There's an unlimited number of places we can go, characters we can meet, adventures that we can become a part of. We're so glad that we're able to make Black Spire Outpost the launching point for not only those stories, but for your story. And we're so grateful for the opportunity, the time you guys spent with us today, because I want you to know, I'm kind of getting emotional now. Aww. I have a warm hug. Thank you.
How about another kiss on the cheek?
Yeah, no. Oh. Okay, sweet. Thank you, Josh. So, you guys. Hopefully, you guys. I want you to know how much love and passion we're putting into this, because we're Star Wars fans. We represent an amazing collection of other Imagineers and our folks that are at the parks. Actually, because they care so much about the fan base, the leadership of Disneyland and Walt Disney World are in this room with you right now because they want to spend time with you guys, the fans. They're here somewhere. That's how much we care. And you know, and we're doing this for you. We're really kind of trying to do this with a fan kind of sensibility. So we're so grateful you spent time with us today. We hope you like what we've put so much love and passion into. And when you get to come and see it, you know, we hope that it's like the culmination of 40 years of dreaming about stepping into that world of Star Wars.
Oh, get it together, Scott. Stop crying. Guys, thank you so much for making the time to come today. Thank you guys for having me back. Let's give everybody a hand, please. As we leave, we want to treat you guys to some more of John Williams' incredible music from Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. This is the first time the entire concert suite has been heard publicly. Enjoy the rest of your celebration. Love you all.